Welcome back, guys. This is the King of Weebs here, and this is what if Naruto faked his death part one. Um, I'm remaking part one because I actually forgot what I said in the original part one, and I don't really like listening to myself. So I'm just going to remake it, and this time I will finish it. Don't worry. And the only reason I actually remembered about this what if is because some people were actually asking for it. I actually forgot I ever made the what if. I was like, "What's this?" And then I searched it up, and it was on my channel. So I shall be making this wife again, and we'll get straight into it. We begin with the story. Naruto is still a young child, and he is pretty much well, getting abused on the streets. He's done nothing wrong, and still he's getting abused, and of course this is actually scarring his mind. And anyways, after all the abuse, Naruto returns home. Since no hospital wants to actually heal him, he has to bandage himself up with scrap clothes. You have to rip clothes and actually well, have to bandage himself up. This is quite bad, as infections could actually take place in Naruto, and the wounds can get infected, and this is very bad in fact. But anyways, now of course now Naruto would actually head out on his own, wearing all black clothes so he can camouflage with the darkness. It's quite dark, and there are still some people outside, but Naruto does not want to be seen. Anyways, now Naruto, of course, is walking towards his training ground, and he's now only the age of 6, and he's already been training quite hard. In fact, his body is very built, and although he gets injured quite a bit because of the amount of abuse he receives, he still trains on his own, and he gets stronger day by day. Anyways, this continues for a few years. Naruto would train, well, he would train like a beast. He would train like his life depends on it, as it literally does. And anyways, Naruto would become quite strong. In fact, by the age of 8, Naruto, just by doing physical training, he's already pretty much at the strength of a 12-year-old Genin. And anyway, he doesn't have many techniques. He only has a few fighting styles that he's learned on his own. And anyways, now one night, while Naruto was heading towards the training ground, Naruto was actually spotted as a gust of wind actually blew off his hood, and it went back, and his blonde hair was spotted by a few drunk villagers, which decided to actually go at Naruto and beat the hell out of him. Naruto's only 8, and this beating was different from others. They actually wanted to fully kill him. They didn't care if they just wanted to torture him. They just wanted him dead at this point. Anyways, they've had enough of Naruto even being alive, and so they attacked him in a manner that Naruto would be injured and be left for dead. But of course Naruto is much stronger now, and he doesn't fight back, as he doesn't see the need to, since if he does, it will just make things worse for him. And anyways, now Naruto just takes all the beatings, and pretty much is on the verge of passing out because of blood loss. But he just continues walking. He puts back his hood on, even though he's bloody, his clothes are ripped. He goes to his training ground and he trains. He trains until he literally falls down to his knees, and is pretty much on the verge of death. As this was all happening, someone actually spotted Naruto dying, literally dying. He sees all the craters in the ground, and this was all because of Naruto's just sheer amount of strength. And anyways, this was actually an Anbu. This Anbu would actually be, well, and just saying, Naruto is in the academy, and this was right before Shisui's death as well. And luckily, Shisui was this Anbu that saw Naruto and took him to his own home. I'm not sure if Shisui even had parents at the time, but anyway, I'll just say that he was living alone at this point. And he took Naruto to his home, or to his apartment, and treated him, and asked Naruto what happened, why was he training when he was in such bad state. Naruto then just said that there was nothing better for him to do. He wasn't going to go to the hospital, as none of the doctors or nurses would treat him anyway, so he'd have to deal with these wounds anyway. So what's better, training or just sitting there dying? So he'd rather die training or die doing something useful. And anyways, now Shisui was quite saddened to hear that no one would actually heal Naruto, and Shisui is one of those people that actually doesn't really hate Naruto. And anyways, now He tells Naruto that he's quite built for an 8-year-old. He's just enrolled into the academy, and he should take it quite easy. And Naruto says if he even lets his guard down once, he could just die on the streets when everyone's looking. No one really cares. They just want him dead. Anyways, Shisui asks Naruto how many years has he been training for, how long has he been training for. Naruto then replies by saying since the age of 4, but it's just gotten much harder for him to even get out of the home. As soon as he does, people spot him. And today was just one of those days that the world decided for him to be beaten once again. Of course, Shisui realizes that Naruto literally thinks that the world is against him at this point. Even the wind wanted him to get spotted, but realistically, that was just nature itself. And anyways, now he can't really do anything about that. Naruto understands that Shisui is actually quite kind, and tells him that he actually, on his way out, he actually leaves his wallet with all his savings in it, as that's all he can actually do. And Shisui actually sees this and tells him to take it back, as he doesn't need the money. This was just a kind gesture, out of his own free will. He didn't want anything in return. Naruto then says, it's fine. Everything in this world comes at a cost. I'll have to pay you anyway one day. And this is my payment. I can't pay you with anything else. I'm sorry. It's not even much money. I'll take it. I'll see you around. Anyways, as he says that Naruto body flickers out. Yes, Naruto did learn the body flicker. During these 2 years, he has been stealing scrolls from the Hokage, and the Hokage knows that Naruto has been stealing them, so technically he's just giving them to him at this point. He understands why Naruto is stealing them. He's seen him train, and well, he hasn't seen him train at night, but he's seen him train in forests during the day. Whenever, sorry, I ran out of breath. Whenever he's actually, well, not being beaten. The Hokage felt really bad for him, and so he just allowed him to steal the scrolls, as long as the scrolls do not contain anything too dangerous. Of course, Naruto would keep doing this until he learned quite a few jutsus, like the Fireball Jutsu, the Fire Phoenix Jutsu, a lot of different jutsus. Yes, Naruto has has 3 chakra niches here: wind, lightning, and fire. Of course, he has water, but he doesn't know about that yet, because he hasn't been focusing on any other chakra natures. Anyways, it's been 3 years. Shisui is dead. The Uchiha clan got massacred, and Naruto knows about Shisui's death. Naruto has actually been in touch with Shisui. Well, not in touch, but he's always looked out for him, as he learned a lot about Shisui. He was feared amongst the 5 nations, and he just suddenly disappeared. Naruto came to the conclusion that he died in a mission, but in reality, it was actually Danzo who pretty much, who was the catalyst to his death, as Shisui actually killed himself, as he didn't want anyone to have his eye. And anyways, Shisui, as he was speaking to Itachi on his in his last few words, he did say goodbye to his friend and gave his eye and told him that there is a kid in this village. This kid will be great. He will be a strong shinobi, but he fears that he won't be an ally of the Leaf. He fears that he won't be an ally of any shinobi village, to be honest, and it will be just someone out there. Of course, Itachi asks who is this child, and Shisui then replies by saying Naruto Uzumaki, the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails. Of course, Itachi was confused on why he's mentioning him out of all people. Like, how did he even meet him? Like, has he trained him or something? Shisui then explains Naruto's story and tells him that Naruto is someone that, if he's not treated well in this village, he won't be staying here for too long. He will leave the village and he will become his own person, someone that is feared amongst the shinobi nations. And Shisui warns Itachi of Naruto, to be honest. He's warning Itachi not to mess with Naruto if he becomes a wanted shinobi or anything. If he sees him, do not try to return him to the Leaf Village or anything. Just let him do what he wants, as long as he's not trying to destroy the village. But he can see in the kid's eyes that he's not really someone to hold that big of a grudge. In fact, Naruto doesn't actually hate the village. He just Oh, he doesn't hate the village itself. He doesn't want to destroy it, but he hates most of the people in it. He doesn't want to kill them though. He understands that it's not their fault. Naruto has found out over the years that he is Minato's Jinchuriki, so he hasn't. Well, he excused them for hating him. Of course, this pissed off the Naruto's inside. The Naruto's screaming at him to kill them all. He has the power to kill many of the villagers, as not all the villagers in the Leaf Village are ninjas. He can kill a lot of them in a single hit. And anyways, of course, Naruto has been had to, he's handling the Naruto's pretty much. The Naruto is literally telling him to kill everyone in the village, but Naruto always tells him to shut up, as pretty much the Naruto's always torments Naruto basically. And this it's not really something that Naruto cares about, and he understands why the Naruto hates everyone, as they use him as a tool for destruction. And one day when he was actually 10, he's pretty much given up on everything. Naruto at this point, he has no hope in life. He doesn't really have any goals, and he asks the Naruto's why does he hate people so much? Was he always something, or a beast that causes havoc, destruction everywhere he goes? Of course, the Naruto gives him a little story. Here Naruto and the Naruto are a bit more, they socialize a bit more than usual, and they don't hate each other, especially because the Naruto feels for Naruto, as Naruto's been hated because of him. And in reality, the Naruto's never really hated Naruto in the first place. It was mostly because of the Fufukage, but he understood that Naruto is a good kid, and he can see the pain in Naruto's eyes. He doesn't believe Naruto will, if something doesn't change in Naruto, he doesn't believe Naruto will, have the will to live anymore, to be honest. And that kind of saddens him, so he tries to be, less annoying. As much as he can, of course. But anyways, of course, he is the Naruto's, and he won't just sit around trying to, try to be, lost, or become a lost massive chakra. And anyways, of course, the Naruto tells Naruto to, become a strong shinobi, so he can show the village that he isn't the monster that they think he is. And Naruto then actually tells the Naruto something that the Naruto would have never expected to hear from a human. And Naruto tells him that, the tail beasts aren't so bad, and pretty much goes on to say that they're not really tools of destruction. They were just misunderstood beings. It's not your fault that you're born this strong, or you were created this overpowered. But I guess this is how the world works. If they don't know something, they will want to be one. They will fear it. That's what he thinks. He thinks that if humanity doesn't know something, or it's unknown to humans, they will always fear that, power or whatever it is. Anyways, the Naruto sees that Naruto actually understood how the Naruto's felt, or how all the tail beasts felt. They don't really like to be seen as, tools of destruction. They're just normal beings like humans. But anyway, Naruto and the Naruto's pretty much stop talking after that day. The Naruto's realizes that Naruto has his own thing in mind, and the Naruto continues training on his own for the next 2 years, and in the academy he never really made friends. In fact, he was actually bullied, and Naruto didn't really do anything about that. At this point, he's just gotten used to being bullied and abused, so he just allows the bullies to do whatever, and even hit him, abuse him, bruise him. He doesn't really he doesn't really care anymore. Anyways, now Naruto, one day he was just out and about. He was just going to his training around as per normal, until some villagers actually saw him. He's now 12, and he's just there. Of course, the villagers now are shouting at him, calling him demon, and saying that he's just a tool for them to actually destroy other villagers in case they attack them. This pissed off Naruto, as he remembers the chat with his pal, I'd say, the Naruto's, and remembers how the Naruto said that they weren't really born to create destruction. In fact, they were born, or they were created to keep the balance of the world intact, as those are being even stronger than the Niantics itself, that could literally cause havoc in the world and destroy it within seconds, to be honest, or within minutes. Anywho, Naruto has had enough, and literally said, you speak about the Niantics one more time and I promise you I will kill you. Of course, that villager got actually quite shook and says the demon has finally emerged from him. And of course, a lot of the villagers start attacking Naruto. Naruto doesn't really want to hurt them, as he doesn't really blame them for being scared of something so strong, something so that could kill them within seconds. In fact, he just says, I've had enough of this. And anyways, now he takes all the beatings on as per normal. And anywho, Naruto was thinking to himself why this is all happening to him. He's lost it, literally. Naruto doesn't understand anymore. He just doesn't want to be beaten anymore. This was the final straw. His house got burnt down. His apartment got burnt down pretty much. Literally, they started a fire while he was out, and people thought it was him actually trying to kill the people in the complex, and he was kicked out ever since. And the Hokage tried to get him a home, but in the end he couldn't, so the Hokage had to literally ask some Anbu to build him a home, and it was a pretty small cottage, and the Anbu that actually built the little cottage actually hated Naruto as well, so they left a lot of traps which could kill Naruto, but Naruto was able to take care of those. And anyways, now Naruto was just asking the world, literally contemplating his existence. He doesn't understand anymore why was he created, and of course, why was he born? It was only because the world wanted him to suffer. He doesn't understand it anymore, and he had a kunai in his hand. It was already dark, and that day Naruto didn't attend the academy. Yes, and anywho, Naruto on that day was heading to the academy until the beating, and he just didn't want to go anymore. Iruka, who actually never really hated Naruto, in fact he felt a bit bad for Naruto every time he's seen him getting beaten just for walking around, and he felt quite bad for him. And anyways, now he was quite worried for Naruto, as he didn't show up on that day, and he heard some villagers actually on the way back home. He actually heard some villagers bragging about nearly killing the brat. And anyways, now the Iruka couldn't sleep that night, and so he went out on his own to search for Naruto. And anywho, Naruto was about to actually just stab himself in the neck, and as he was about to do that, he was actually stopped. It was someone else. It wasn't a person. It wasn't Obito. It wasn't anyone. It was just someone's hand just stopped him. Naruto looked back, and all he could see was nothing. Literally nothing, and the only thing that he could think of was that it was himself. He was too scared to end it all. And anyways, now he looks down at the fourth Hokage's stone face. If you guys didn't see what I was going with, it was actually the fourth Hokage's spirit. It was actually Minato stopping his own son from doing something that would end him forever. Anyways, now of course Naruto looked back at the village and thought that he doesn't want to be here anymore, and he thinks of a plan of leaving the village. Of course, Naruto Iruka, while he was searching for Naruto, he actually sees something in the corner of his eye. He sees something or someone. He hopes it's something instead of someone falling from the fourth Hokage's stone face. That someone was Naruto. Naruto fell to the ground, and Iruka arrived out of nowhere, and Iruka arrived and he saw a kunai literally impaled into his neck. Iruka was startled by this. At first he thought Naruto was just joking, but then once he saw blood gushing out, he realized this was serious. He created a clone which went to the Hokage's office and told him everything, and the Hokage rushed to the hospital too. This time the hospital really couldn't do anything about it, as even if they didn't want to treat him, they had to, because Iruka was asking them, and he said that the Hokage asked him to, and he's coming here right now, and so they did, but they couldn't really do anything. Naruto died in the hospital bed. That's what they thought. Anyways, the Hokage was saddened by this, and he realized that this was all because of the village. The villagers who actually beat Naruto on that day were quite saddened as well. They realized what they've done, and they regretted it. All of them, every single person that beat Naruto at one point in his life, they all regretted it, as they realized they've just killed a little child. Naruto's only 12, and a lot of his classmates didn't understand, well, except for Shikamaru and Choji, who actually tried to be friends with Naruto. However, Naruto actually seemed like he didn't want to be their friend, as he didn't want, to be honest, Naruto wanted to be their friend. However, he never really wanted to get involved with them, as anyone who gets involved with Naruto pretty much gets hated just as much as him. Maybe not abused, but still, he didn't want that to fall upon anyone else other than him. So he took the burden on himself, and Shikamaru actually knew that, as he once asked Naruto why he didn't want to be friends with them. Of course, Shikamaru was pissed off at the village, and during his funeral, not many people attended, only some people. A lot of the people who actually beat Naruto didn't really care, they were actually quite happy. But anyways, the only few people that actually attended were Iruka the Hokage, Sasuke as well. Literally, Sasuke Uchiha, someone that no one really thought had any feelings, showed up. Iruka did try to get every single person in his in Naruto's class to attend, but the only few people that actually did were Choji, Ino, Kiba, and Shikamaru. Of course, Sasuke. Hinata, of course, she attended too, as she actually liked Naruto. And anyways, Naruto was watching this all from afar, and he saw, and just saying, Naruto actually created a blood clone. That's why they actually, it actually looked like Naruto died. And anyways, now, of course, this was quite saddening to many people, but while this was all happening, Naruto realized that these people, and just saying, Ichiraku, Tochi, and Ayame showed up as well, and Kakashi, I did forget about those people. A few other people actually showed up that didn't hate Naruto, but anyway, I'm not going to mention every single one of them. They will come out, they will be important later on in the story anyway. Now, Naruto, while this was all happening, actually went to the Hokage's office, as it was pretty much vacant, and he literally took the scroll ceiling and created a clone of it. Naruto then left the village, and unnoticed, by the way, as the guards that actually looked out. Well, the guards of the village were actually at Naruto's funeral too, and they were around the village anyway. However, none of them noticed Naruto, as he was way too fast. Naruto was using the body flicker just as well as Shisui used to, and it was quite impressive, to be honest. And anyways, even Anbu didn't notice him go out. Anywho, after all of this, of course, Naruto, who was on his own now, he's 12, remember, he's already quite strong anyway, as in he's already near Chunin level, just off of his own training. But this was around 8 months before Naruto, the graduation from the academy. Nothing really changed in the Leaf Village, other than the Hokage actually resenting himself quite a bit for Naruto's death. But this was he couldn't really allow himself to go into depression right now, as he had a grandchild to look after. Of course, he had a family, and he also, he had to be a role model for his grandchild, as he wants to become Hokage as well. And there was the village to take care of. He had to take care of the village as well. Anyways, although he kinda hated himself for not seeing Naruto's pain, he had to go on with his life, and he just kept asking forgiveness to Minato and Kushina. Of course, now Naruto was on his own, training in a faraway land, actually known as the Land of Waves, and he was staying with some people. Some people actually took Naruto in, as one night he was actually quite exhausted, and he was at those two people were actually Inari and his mother. At this point, Inari's dad was already dead, and they were actually trying to come back from the village, and from the town center, so because they had to get groceries, and they saw Naruto on the ground, and so they actually took him back to their home. Of course, Naruto woke up a few days later, as he was completely exhausted from all the training and literally being malnutritioned, and anyways, malnourished, not malnutritioned, malnourished, sorry, my English is bad. Anyway, of course, Inari would actually ask Naruto what he was doing there all alone. It's dangerous with Gato and his men around. Naruto then asks who's Gato, but Inari then says, first answer my question, and Naruto tells him that it's a long story, and I don't think he wants to hear it. I don't think you want to hear it. And anyways, of course, Inari says that it's fine, and Inari's mother actually tells him that, yeah, it's alright, you can tell us. And anyways, as he was telling them the story, the thing Inari's grandfather. Uh, I actually forgot his name. Tazuna comes in after a long journey. He comes back home and asks who the kid is, and of course Naruto tells them the whole entire story. And Tazuna tells him that he's actually going back to the Leaf Village soon, in a few months, to get some resources. And of course Naruto says that he doesn't really care about that village anymore. Although he loved the village, the people there, they really hated him. Some regretted what they did to him, but it is what it is. It's too late now, as he's already out of there. And anyways, he's glad that he's outside the village, and he's far away from the people that hurt him. Anyways, of course, Inari and his mother literally were pretty much on the verge of tears, and they welcomed Naruto into their own little family, telling him that they will be his new family if he'd never had one. And Naruto was quite happy with this. He was really happy that he could be with them, and so pretty much Naruto and Inari would become brothers to each other, and Naruto would actually train Inari to become stronger, as Inari wanted revenge against Gato, and Naruto could easily beat Gato at this point, and Naruto would actually train with the Scroll of Sealing and learn a few new techniques. For example, the Majestic Destroyer Flame, which was a forbidden technique, as too much chakra is exerted for to use it, and Naruto does learn the multi-shadow clone jutsu, which actually he never knew. He knew the shadow clone jutsu, but not the multi-shadow clone jutsu. Of course, sorry, he knew the clone jutsu, not the shadow clone jutsu, and the multi-shadow clone jutsu, of course, that came with it. And anyway, now Naruto actually realized the secret behind the shadow clone jutsu, how you can increase his growth in training by actually using clones to train as well. And anywho, Naruto would do this for a few techniques. For example, the Rasengan. The Rasengan was easily learned by Naruto within a week or so, and he can do it in one hand now, as he's much stronger now, and his chakra control is on a different level, because he had a few thousand clones literally just training chakra control and just meditate. And anyways, now Inari would actually learn the basics of chakra control, as Naruto was able to teach him quite well. He was actually quite a very good teacher, as he had to teach himself, so teaching someone else wouldn't be that hard for Naruto. And anyways, of course it doesn't work like that, by the way. And anyways, now, because remember, everyone learns in different ways, and different teachers have different ways of teaching, and sometimes it works for some students and sometimes it doesn't. It's like a tutor. And anyway, now Naruto was Inari's tutor basically, and Inari would become quite a strong shinobi. He would actually be on a Genin level by the end of the 7 months of training. In these 7 months of training, Naruto would actually go on missions or become a mercenary, pretty much. He would actually go on missions for paid commissions, and of course, he would actually earn himself a name as the White Death, and it would be because Naruto would wear all white clothes and a white cloak. Literally, the Akatsuki attire without the it's all white and no clouds on it. And also he would wear a white mask with a scar on it, as Naruto had a scar on his face too. It was similar to Bardock's one. Of course, in the thumbnail it's not going to be the same, but anyway, now Naruto would go around, and by the way, the scar on the mask would actually just be a slice through its eye, as it was actually because of his first ever commission. It was actually against the B rank shinobi or rogue ninja that actually nearly killed him, pretty much, because Naruto wasn't expecting such strength even from a B rank shinobi. Although he's much stronger, he thought it would be much easier, but in the end he still was able to kill him with some difficulty. Not too much, I'd say a 4 out of 10, because of his lack of experience in the in the field of killing, pretty much. Naruto tried giving the man many chances and to just go back on his ways, but in the end he was too far gone, and Naruto, as he was apologizing, he sliced off his head, and the man died with a smile on his face, as he truly didn't want to live anymore. He's had enough of his life. That's why he didn't want to return or try again in life. He's lost everything. And Naruto actually heard this story through the man as he was fighting. He was telling Naruto his entire life story, and Naruto felt bad for him, as it wasn't too far off from his. He lost everything. He never had anything in the end, and he died alone. But he died at the hands of a great shinobi. That's what he said to Naruto as he was fighting him, if I die here, I will die to a great shinobi and someone who will become great. And anyways, now he could already see Naruto's potential, and he kind of trained Naruto in the fight at the same time, as Naruto learned a lot of styles and how other people fight. And anyways, now he returned home, and Inari was quite worried for him because he didn't return home in a few days. And anyways, now Naruto apologized to all of them, and it's been around 6 months at this point, and Tazuna has actually gone to the Leaf Village. He couldn't say goodbye because he was off on a mission at that time, and Naruto is now known as a B rank. Oh, sorry if you guys heard that. It's actually a random notification from Facebook for some reason, although I don't use it. I turned it off a few times, but I don't know why it's still coming, and it's pissing me off. Anyway, of course, Naruto wasn't able to say goodbye to him as he was on a mission, and Tazuna actually sent a letter a month later and asking Naruto. This was just a few days before the Genin graduation exam or graduation day. He literally asked Naruto, "Hey Naruto, could you like come pick me up because of Gato? He kind of wants to kill me, and I don't have enough money to actually pay for the, for a high enough mission." Of course, Naruto was more than glad to go and pick him up, and it would take him a few days. He said goodbye to Inari, as Inari is literally I'd say close to C rank shinobi at this point, as he's been learning from the Scroll of Sealing 2. Inari didn't have much, too much or massive amounts of chakra like Naruto, but he had moderate amounts. In fact, it was actually a bit over average, but it wasn't as a bit over average like Naruto, because his was just a tiny little bit over average, you know what I mean, like Uzumaki. And anyway, now of course Naruto is on his way there, but he realized that he's being followed by someone, and that someone was actually it was one of Gato's men, and it was actually two people, but one of them was hiding. One of the people actually threw his sword at him, and we may know him as Zabuza Momochi. And anyways, of course, he attacked Naruto, and Naruto actually saw this coming from a mile away, and he actually stopped the blade with his own hand. Literally, he held the blade and told Zabuza to come out, and as soon as Zabuza came out, Naruto actually threw back the sword at him, and Zabuza was quite surprised that Naruto, although knowing Zabuza and he knows that he's an S-rank shinobi, he gave back his weapon. Of course, Naruto wasn't scared of Zabuza, as even if he's a B-rank shinobi, only a B-rank, well, I wouldn't say rogue ninja, as no one knows what village he's from. Maybe he's not even a ninja from any village, and he's just a self-taught ninja. They just said that he's a mercenary. Although Naruto is only a B-rank mercenary, he has S-rank techniques. For example, he's already developing a new Rasengan, but he's close to doing it. However, the only thing that he has is the Lightning Rasengan. Also, he has Water Release now. He's only missing one of the 5 chakra natures, which is Earth. And anywho, Naruto would then tell Zabuza to get out of his way, as he's not feeling up for a fight. And Zabuza says, "White Death, how about you take your mask off?" Of course, Naruto then says, "If I took my mask off, my identity would be revealed, and I don't really want that to happen, as I know my old village would definitely come and pursue me." And I left that village. And of course, Zabuza says, "Oh, so you're a rogue ninja. That information will come in handy. A lot of money could be earned from that information." And Naruto says that, "How about I make you a deal? You don't give that information to anyone, and you won't lose your arm. How about that?" Of course, Zabuza was provoked by this, as Naruto was threatening to take off one of Zabuza's arms, and Naruto wasn't joking here, and he let out his killer intent, and his killer intent actually grew over the years, and just the sheer amount of killer intent that he had was actually matching Zabuza. Zabuza was actually quite impressed and actually chuckled to himself, saying, "A brat like you has such killer intent. You must have had a rough life." Naruto says that rough isn't a word to describe it, and maybe hellish a better word, a better word to describe it. Of course, Zabuza laughed and he attacked Naruto. And Naruto blocked it with, oh god damn, every single time. Naruto blocked it with a single kunai, and Zabuza was more impressed, and he was actually smiling at this point. He's like, maybe I found my match, as he says that. Sorry, I have to stop it because the car decided to boom a bit more. Anyway, of course, Zabuza was smiling as he finally found his match and says, maybe this might be my match. And as he says that, he actually tries to trip Naruto, but as he does, Naruto turns into fog for some reason, and Zabuza chuckled, started laughing maniacally, and said that this will be a very, very fun match. And anyways, as he says that, he tries to blitz Naruto as he could see him through the fog, and Naruto says that he really doesn't want to fight him, and as he says that he does a 360 kick and into, he actually roundhouse kicks Zabuza right in the face, which actually hurts Zabuza, and Zabuza was completely flabbergasted. He never expected such strong kick from such small child. Anyways, Zabuza says, I'll leave you, and I can see that you have great potential. I'm not going to kill you, don't worry. You gave me a reason to keep this information secret. Maybe we might meet each other once more, and next time we do meet, one of us will die. Naruto then actually replies by saying, we're not gonna finish the fight, huh? How about this? We don't kill each other next time we meet. How about we become friends, allies? Of course, Zabuza was perplexed on why Naruto would want to be an ally with him after he just tried to kill him. Naruto then says everyone deserves a second chance, right? And I know someone's hiding in the trees. I can feel him. I am a sensory ninja. I'll tell you everything about me if you become allies with me. And I can tell when someone's lying, so don't lie. Naruto actually can tell people's feelings at this point, as he's already tapped into that power, because he's tapped into, the Naruto's is actually allowing him to tap into some of the powers that or some of the abilities that he can have when he has KCM, because he actually respects Naruto for what he's done, for the sheer amount of power he has at this age, and you can see that Naruto will become much stronger than himself, and he actually is quite sympathetic to Naruto after all that happened to him. All his hard life was just as hard as his, pretty much, and he was just a young child. He's at this point, many people would probably actually end themselves, but Naruto didn't, and so he actually respected his choice, and he allowed it. And anyways, now of course Zabuza says alright, and then Haku comes out, and Naruto could feel that they weren't lying, and so he takes off his mask, revealing who he is. And Naruto says that he's Naruto Uzumaki. He's from the Leaf Village. He faked his death with a blood clone, and now he's here working as a mercenary for now, but one day he might return to the village, as his dream was once to become Hokage. And anyways, of course, Naruto doesn't hate the village. He feels a bit awkward to return after faking his death, becoming quite strong, and it's just not right, correct? And anyways, now he will return one day when the time is right. And anyways, now Naruto and Zabuza actually shake hands, and Zabuza actually smiles at the kid, or at Naruto, and tells him that he's quite strong, and he can actually teach him a bit about the sword, as he is one of the 7 deadly ninja swordsmen. Yes, seven ninja swordsmen of the mist. Sorry, not 7 deadly. Again, 7 deadly sins. I keep getting confused. And anyways, now Haku actually takes off his mask as well, and he smiles at Naruto, saying that he's very strong, he can match Zabuza. And anyways, Naruto shakes his hand too, and tells him that if they work for Gato, they shouldn't go after Tazuna. And anyways, now Naruto would actually be late quite a few days, as he didn't make the calculations right. He was actually late by 2 weeks. In fact, yes, 2 weeks late, because Naruto was walking quite slow. Naruto likes to take it slow. He's quite laid back. He doesn't go straight away. And Tazuna said that there isn't much of a rush, but once Tazuna realized that it's been quite a few, it's been 2 weeks. First of all, of course, he thought that maybe he should just hire some genin and lie about the mission. Anyway, Of course, as he does that, the next day Tarzan is actually ready to leave, and as he was leaving with Team 7, during this time, of course, Team 7 was actually still made, and Sai would actually replace Naruto here. Sai would actually be, would actually be rescued from the Anbu, or the route, by the third Hokage, as the third Hokage was already working on trying to relieve or release Sai from the Anbu, and he was able to, and Sai was actually pretty much saved before he lost all emotions, and before having to be saved by Naruto and everything. You know what happened, how Naruto kept telling him that he's his friend and everything. And anyway, now, of course, Sai learned about Naruto's sad, fate, and he was actually quite saddened by him. And in fact, he actually visited Naruto's grave, in quotation marks, as he realized that Naruto had a very sad childhood. And Sai didn't even know about Naruto's existence this whole time, because he was never really let out of the Anbu, or the root hideout. And anyway, now, of course, Naruto actually, Team 7 would actually pass the bell test, and Sasuke would train even harder here. He realized that this village is quite cursed, pretty much. Everyone here suffers, pretty much. He realized that Naruto wasn't strong enough, and he wanted to become even stronger for him as well. Sasuke showed up to Naruto's funeral because remember in the flashback, in the in their little flashback, when during the war arc, or not during the war arc, in their final battle, Sasuke did reveal that he was always jealous of Naruto, and Naruto really revealed that he was always jealous of Sasuke, and they had that little touching moment, as they were pretty much brothers. And anyways, of course, they looked out for each other, but looked up to each other, and at the same time they hated each other. But anyway, of course, Sasuke always enjoyed seeing Naruto, and it was like seeing his own little rival, or his own brother. But anyway, now, of course, after that, after Naruto's death, in quotation marks again, he trained even harder, not just for him, but also for Naruto and for the whole entire Uchiha clan, as he wants to avenge them. Also, he wants to find out, he wants to actually become Hokage at this point, to fix everything that is wrong with the Leaf Village. But that dream has actually been crushed, as he realized that if he wants to actually kill Itachi, he would actually have to leave the village, pretty much. That's what he wants. He believes. He doesn't believe that he's going to remain in this village for much longer. As soon as he gets enough power, he'd probably leave and never really return, because there is no reason for him to return to the village. Anyway, now, of course, the third Hokage is still quite depressed about Naruto, but he is actually worried about Team 7, as they're going into a mission outside. The mission seemed quite fishy, first of all, as Tazuna he knew who Tazuna was, and he seemed to be quite relaxed about, going back to his home. He said that a mercenary would be coming here, and although a mercenary is quite expensive to hire, the mercenary never showed up, and in the end he had to get a Genin team, which meant that he didn't have much money, and he might have realized that this was actually a way higher ranked mission, and that's why he actually put Team 7 on this mission, because Team 7 was asking for a higher ranked mission, and Kakashi was on there, which he was the second strongest shinobi pretty much in the Leaf Village. Not shinobi in the Leaf Village, but the second strongest Jonin in the Leaf. And anyway, while Team 7 were actually about to head out with Tazuna, Naruto actually showed up. Actually, seeing Team 7, he deepened his voice and actually said, "Tazuna, I'm sorry I came late. I know I'm very sorry I came late. I was taking my time and I calculated wrong. It took me much longer to arrive here." And anyways, Tazuna was kind of perplexed when Naruto changed his voice, but then he remembered that Naruto does come from this village, and he did kind of fake his death, which would be quite awkward if they literally saw Naruto again, and these again are the age of Naruto, so they probably were in the same class or something. Anyway, of course, Tazuna said that maybe all of them should still come, as he already did pay, and Naruto said, whatever, it's kind of my fault, I'll pay you back for this commission from the Leaf Village. And anyways, now, and he says that since his services are already free for Tazuna, he'll just pay him. And anyways, so basically he's paying to do a mission. He's paying the commissioner to commission him to do a mission for him. And anyways, now, Of course, Naruto and Team 7 would still, well, Team 7, the new Team 7, Naruto would be leading the way, as he already knew a lot of the, well, he was quite used to this road anyway, because he went through it like 4 times at this point. Oh, this is the 4th time, I believe. No, 3rd time, I don't even care anyway. Now, of course, Kakashi was quite worried that a mercenary was there, and he's known for killing people, and of course he was on high alert. And anyways, of course, they realized that there was a puddle there, and which Naruto didn't see before, and he was ready for anything. But Team 7 jumped in the way, and pretty much took care of the Demon Brothers, and realized that this mission is much higher than a C rank. Naruto then just said that if they don't want to take it, they can just return to the Leaf Village. He's more than enough. And then Kakashi says, this mission may be an A rank mission, maybe even an S. Who knows? We don't know yet. But it's definitely a B. And of course Naruto says, I don't really care. I am a B ranked, well, shinobi anyway. And Kakashi does question Naruto the White Death, why he's not scared in case there is an S rank shinobi. And then of course Naruto replies by saying, although I'm only considered as a B ranked ninja, it doesn't mean that they know my true strength. You shouldn't underestimate your enemy. Kakashi Hatake, the copy ninja, you should know that the best. And anyways, of course Kakashi was taken aback by this and says that they will take it, as at this point he's actually protecting the Leaf's pride. And anyways, now, and plus his team didn't want to take it, and it seemed like, you know, he was more than enough to take this mission on, and he really was. And anyways, now, of course, they do get to the lake where they meet Zabuza, and Zabuza does attack Tazuna, and he realizes that of course this is Tazuna, and says, oh well, this was the wrong person. And he sees Naruto there, and he was about to shout Naruto until he saw Leaf Shinobi like Kakashi of the Kakashi Hatake, and this got him excited, although Naruto told him to stop this as Zabuza was charging at Kakashi. Zabuza didn't listen, and Naruto must realize that Zabuza just wants a good fight at this point, and he says that it's fine, Zabuza won't kill him, right Zabuza? And as he says that, of course Zabuza says yes, he nods, as remember they are allies, and Naruto doesn't want Leaf Shinobi to be killed. He still, supports the Leaf. And anyways, now, of course Sasuke asked him just who he is, as he seems to be just as tall as them, and he's already a B rank shinobi or a wanted shinobi in the bingo book, as he reads the bingo book too. And anyway, of course, Zabuza and Kakashi's fight ends in a stalemate, as Kakashi didn't go all out yet, and Naruto literally said, said to stop it. And anyways, of course, Naruto didn't reply to Sasuke, and he said that this is it. Team 7 can return to the Leaf Village. There is no longer a need for them to be here. And as he says that, of course, Gato's men actually appear, and Gato already had his suspicions about Zabuza betraying him, and of course he said that he was going to kill them anyway, and this just makes his life harder as there are more ninjas here, and all of Gato's men attack, and Naruto says that Naruto stands next to Zabuza as Haku arrives too, and Kakashi was ready for battle too, but the 3 of them were more than enough to take out Gato and his men, and in the end Naruto actually he killed Gato himself, as he kind of had a bit of hatred towards Gato because of all the stories he's heard, all the bad story, all the things that he's seen that Gato caused, all the problems that he caused, and especially Inari's father being killed because of Gato. And anyways, Naruto wasn't having it anymore, and he wanted revenge for Inari, and he did avenge Inari's father in the end. Although he never really met him, he did it only for Inari and his mother, and of course Tazuna too. And also, of course, the whole entire village. And anyways, the bridge would actually be still called the Great Naruto Bridge, but no one really understood why it was called the Great Naruto Bridge, although the Hokage had his suspicions. Team 7 did return by now, and the bridge was built within a few weeks, and well, I'd say a week or so, and the Great Naruto Bridge was built, especially because Zabuza and Haku were helping. Anyways, Naruto realized that it might be his time, it might be the time for him to leave, but Zabuza and Haku actually say that they don't really need to leave, even though they're here, they can just build their own cottage next to their home. And anyways, Naruto was more than fine with that, and anyway, Of course, Naruto would still be considered as a genin, pretty much, as he considered himself as a genin, and he did want to participate in the Chunin exam, and Haku was considered as a, well, I don't know what Haku was, to be honest. I don't think he was actually a Chunin or a Jonin, so I'd say he was a genin too, and they actually decided to, well, take part in the Chunin exam as Mist Shinobi, and pretty much well, kill the Mist Shinobi that were actually, or since there were Mist Shinobi already being sent there, and they would actually just blend in with them. And once, if the Mist Shinobi actually did ask about them, they would just kill them if they needed to. Anyways, these Mist Shinobis, I'll say that they were actually sent there to actually spy on the Leaf Village anyway, so they would just be doing the Leaf Village a favor. So Naruto would actually go in as the White Death, as he was actually well, not the White Death, he was actually going to go in with a mask, but he's going to be part of the Mist Village. And anyways, now of course Naruto and Haku would be there, and they would both have the headbands, and this time they actually forged them themselves. And anyways, the third person in their team would actually be just a blood clone of Naruto, but this time he would actually be transformed as well to a different shinobi, and this one would actually be, well, I'd say that this clone would be killed in the Forest of Death, or killed in quotation mark, because in the Forest of Death, remember, there are no rules, and I'd say that a big snake ate him, and anywho, or her, I don't know what kind of transformation they did, and anyways, I'll say him. Anywho, now, of course, Team 7 was ready for the Chunin exams, and Sasuke had more motivation to be just as strong as the White Death, as, remember, he looks like he's 12, to be honest, and Sasuke could feel how much stronger he is. Just his presence was completely on a different level, and he wanted to become way stronger than him as well. And anywho, now, Sakura here, she would train a little bit, not as much as in the, not as much, she's basically the same strength as in the original. And anyways, now, anyway, Naruto and Haku would make their way there, as Tazuna would be training Inari in his sword style, as he wants Inari to become one of, well, as strong as a very strong shinobi, especially with the sword. And Haku and Naruto would actually get closer together as friends, of course, as friends, and actually, you know, bond with each other as friends. I'm not homophobic, but you know, I already have the ship with Hinata. Anyway, as friends, and they would reach the Leaf Village. Of course, Naruto would make the blood clone, as he was actually, well, he actually transformed it into some random shinobi with the mist headband. And anywho, now, of course, the other mist shinobi they saw, they were actually quite suspicious, and anywho, they luckily, very luckily, they would have to verse each other in the Forest of Death. But anywho, we're going to skip the first part of the exam, as it's quite easy for Naruto and Haku to pass, as they're geniuses. And anyways, of course, the second part of the exam begins, and here the Naruto and the Haku would actually receive an Earth Scroll, while the other Shinobi would receive a Heaven Scroll. Of course, the Shinobi were actually quite suspicious of them, and Naruto and Haku did already made sure to kill their to actually dispose of their sensei, as their sensei was actually trying to kill kill Leaf Shinobi, and they actually killed him. Of course, the Leaf Shinobi was actually very perplexed of what just happened, but Naruto said that if you tell anyone, we promise you that we will kill you. And the Leaf Shinobi, of course, he was actually about to tell someone. Naruto actually killed him. Unfortunately, it had to happen, as their identity would be revealed, and it would actually put this little mission into into danger. And anyways, of course, now Naruto and Haku would then go on to actually kill. Yes, they would actually kill. Remember, here Naruto isn't too hesitant about killing, as remember, he is a mercenary and he has no pity, pretty much. Of course, he has pity, but he realizes that these guys are pretty much dangerous towards the Leaf Village, and The Leaf Shinobi that they killed pretty much actually was like Mizuki, pretty corrupt as well. And anyways, Mizuki was actually already taken in custody, and this guy was actually Mizuki's little accomplice. I'm just going to say, as I need to justify Naruto's killing anyways. You heard it. And anywho, now of course Naruto and Haku would dispose of the body on the two, and also pretty much destroy the other Leaf or Miss Shinobi. And they told them, how about you guys just become part of the Leaf? And of course they said that if that's the only way they can survive, they'll take it, as in the Mist Village they were forced to do this. And Naruto actually takes them in, actually tells them, alright, go on. And anywho, of course, them two actually arrive at the tower, and the other two actually leave the thing to go to the Hokage. The Hokage would actually allow them to become, all three of them, to become Leaf Shinobi, and he said that he'll protect them with his own life. And anywho, now that is where I'm gonna end off. Of course, Team 7 would still have to go up against the Orochimaru, but here Orochimaru would only bite Sasuke and leave, as he didn't really want to make too much of a scene. And anyways, Team 7 would still go through the same exact thing as per normal.
And Rock Lee would still come and save Sai and Sakura, although Sai is more than strong enough to actually take care of the other three Sound Shinobi. Rock Lee would still help her, and then Sasuke would wake up, and the same things would happen as per normal. They would get their scroll, and head off to the tower. Anyway, that is where I'm going to end it off, and hope you'll enjoy it. Please take care, stay safe, and peace.